Libra. Whew, give me a second. I'm like wrapping up. I've got 2 readings left. I have done 6 reads for you guys in one day. I mean, I do more on the psychic hotlines, but for some reason, whenever I do free reads, they really drain my energy, which I'm not surprised because there's no real equitable exchange. You know, which honestly, my Venus in Libra absolutely hates that. But I'm doing these, and the reason I'm doing it for 30 minutes for the whole month is because Mercury retrograde is upon us. And when that happens, guess what? Mercury likes to really mess with me and my business content, only in that area of my life. So I've decided I'm going to beat the cycle and learn from all of these years in retrospect for the last 6 years. Just get the content out now and deal with it later. So that way it's like I kind of circumvent this energy of, of it like stopping and starting, because that's usually what happens. So I'm going to be doing things a little bit differently because of that. I will be using the Fairy Blessing cards along with my Dragon Oracle deck and my Dragonfae Oracle deck. So you will have not just 4-card pull and your Fairy Blessings and how to get help during this time from the Dragonfae. You'll have all 3 decks combined. So that's a very special read. I normally don't do this, but I'm not going to be on for a month, and I'm also going to cover the time period from now to June 16th because I will also be off. My sibling is having a wedding, and I am now in it at the last minute. So, like, I'm having to run everywhere. I just got my shoes. I got to go get my dress altered. So that's why if you want a reading with me at a certain time or day and my hours just aren't lining up, it's not you. It's because of my schedule right now and like where I live. But that being said, if you would like a recorded video session, you can still go to my book link and just click the appointment time that you want your video delivered at. Okay? So, and I can send you the video, like recorded link to your email that you leave at checkout. And if you would like to tip me, please do so. And make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Oh, also, if you want to join me on Patreon for your zodiac signs, rites, ritual spell work, and spell casting information for the month, please go ahead and follow me on Patreon. I also give you guys unconditional love lessons as well as messages directly from Mother Isis and her viewpoints of unconditional love. So very interesting. And last but not least, join me for the full moon reading in Scorpio. I will also have that posted on Patreon. And if you join the tier this month and then you do next month, you get both reads for $60 for the full moon in Libra and the full moon in Scorpio. So that's actually nice because most of those reads usually cost like $60 for 30 minutes. So you get 2 for $60. Kind of nice. Or you can just buy the one. You get 35. So there's that. Okay, Libra, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm like, dude, I'm starting to get drained, but if I stop now, I will never be able to get back on the horse when it comes to my sessions as far as like doing the free reads, because after this, baby, I'm taking off for a month and a half. I'll see y'all when I see y'all as far as the free content is concerned. So not like I hate it or anything like that. It's just like, yeah, it's a busy time for me, Libra. Hold on. Sorry. I'm still getting used to this shirt. So I'm not really used to shirts like this. So I apologize if I have to fidget a lot. Or the sleeves, they move at apparently the pace I move. So give me just a few seconds here. I gotta go get my hair cut. I'm waiting till the wedding gets closer so that way I can just go get it one and done like that same week. All right, show me please, clear so divine guidance, my awesome dragon oracle totem. Show me what is the wisdom that you have for Libra during Mercury retrograde. How would you like to help Libra for the 4 weeks of Mercury retrograde? All right, so we got this in reverse already. Hold on, I'm gonna put this down so you can see a little bit better. Okay, reversals aren't necessary. Oh, that one wanted to go up right. All right. Yep, there you are. Okay, 2 more directional messages, please, if you will. Okay, that one came up for 2 other signs, and this one already came up. Okay. Libra, you've got to work on two things at the beginning of Mercury retrograde and towards the end. So the very first one is you have the dusty pink dragon from Andromeda. Oh my God. So if you're a star seed and you know you're from Andromeda, you've got to face some kind of galactic information there. I'm actually, my star sign comes from Sirius. So like my star seed, I'm from Sirius, which is actually where Mother Isis is from. So, interestingly enough, but the Andromedans are pretty cool. They're more techno advanced, techno savvy. I've had to be that way because I actually live with air signs and fire signs. So, like, I've had to learn how to embody those qualities in my everyday life. But this also talks about, it says, prepare all chakras to embody higher love, accept and radiate higher love, touch others with its flame. Now, when it means touch others, it doesn't mean literally unless it's consensual. So don't get any wrong ideas there, okay? The thing is, it's in reverse. So this is something you have to work on and open yourself up to, because the thing is that when these dragons from the oracle are in reverse, it doesn't mean like you don't get the blessing or anything like that. But what it does mean is that they can't come through until you work on something. So I'm going to pull the Dragonfae Oracle to see why these two are in reverse. But this one at the end of the cycle for Mercury retrograde, as we go post shadow, you will have to work on Silver Lunar Dragon. Talks about bathing you in divine feminine light. So you actually need to be open to divine feminine light in order to heal you as well. Because this talks about coming into balance and practice peace, harmony, and cooperation. Expand your casual chakra again. So we have expanding all chakras. We can't do that until we address these situations. But what you do have going for you in weeks 2 and 3, you have the air dragon of communication, helps you rise above earthly matters, communicate honestly, brings inspiration and hope, see life from a higher perspective. Now, the positivity of this, Libra, is this is a dragon that is of your element. You will have instant connection in week 2. But Mercury retrograde makes us, I always tell people it's about secrets and lies. You know, usually in Mercury retrograde, you'll find it out, but changes by the sign. Mercury retrograde in Taurus isn't just about secrets and lies. It's about a complete deconstruction of the 3D, because the 3D is what the earth signs are, and Taurus is the very first earth sign. That's why it's fixed. On top of that, we have Uranus with Taurus going direct, which gives, it's almost like it gives Mercury retrograde a type of freedom that is even more like, you know how there's prankster energy, like Punk'd, and then there's Jackass the movie? Okay, I'm going to put it like this. Mercury retrograde low-key without Uranus is more Punk'd, like Ashton Kutcher Punk'd. Mercury retrograde in Taurus with Uranus there is more Jackass energy. You see what I mean? And I'm not just talking 1, 2, or 3. It might be all 3 of them. But my point is things are funny to an extent. And sometimes they're not. And so it's like, that's why it's like when secrets and lies are revealed and it's a Mercury retrograde in Taurus, this has to do with our inner security and inner stability. Now, for you, Libra, this is like way the hell in the back part of your chart. Maybe even the middle for some of you. Depends on your natal progression as well. And if you even have natal placements in Taurus. If you, I suspect you'll still be affected anyway, because Taurus is a natural placement for Venus to be in. So there you go. And then we have Mars moving in there too. Now Mars is a bit subdued in this position. He's not necessarily lazy, but he's a little bit more relaxed. But you're going to have Mercury like kind of not agitating him, but riling him up, you know, like getting him pre-gamed, if you will. And so it's like, oh no, like what's going to happen? And then you have to look at Aries in the chart as well, because to like boot, you have Eris and Chiron in there. And then you've got Pluto in Capricorn, which for you is your 4th house. Right? You have Pluto going retrograde in your 4th house of friends. You're being forced, and Pluto's actually forcing you guys to see, well, how have your friends helped your material life? Have they been beneficial? Do they talk behind your back? Are they kind? Because Pluto's the kind of guy that he's like, look, if this isn't serving you, I'm going to take it away and give you something better. So now would be a good time to start saying what you want better to manifest in your fourth house of friends, but also community and relationship with your mother. If your mother is a Capricorn sun or moon sign, even rising or possibly Venus sign, and you're a Libra and you're watching this, whether you're masculine or feminine, you're going to have issues with your mom. I'm just letting you know, because Capricorn, it's mainly like Pluto is pushing the Capricorns and it's putting them under pressure. I recommend you guys check their reading out so you can understand what I'm talking about in terms of pressure. Because for them, this is emotional pressure that they are having to face, that they are not necessarily accustomed to, just because they are a divine feminine element of femininity. They are not like the water signs. So this is really pulling them out of their comfort zone. And then in your, second house of inner security, we have full moon in Scorpio, wham, bam, transformation, death, rebirth, metamorphoses. There's going to be aspects of sex as well. Sexual tension will run high. On top of that, you also have, usually, I don't tell people this out of, not to scare them, but usually whenever it's close to Scorpio season or a full moon, the murder rate goes up. So be very careful because emotions run high. And I say that because, if you know a Scorpio sun, you've ever been with one, when they get mad, all hell breaks loose. And full moon in Scorpio isn't just about hell breaking loose. This time, it's about hell coming through them in a sense to transform the world. But it's almost funny. It's like they're from hell, but they manage hell. So like, it's almost like the world gets bypassed, but there's still all this like 3D breaking down and destruction into the one dimension. And then Scorpio's like, no, clean up. We're going to rebuild. And Pluto going retrograde into Capricorn as of this week is going to illuminate on this even more for you guys in those areas. And so it's like your inner securities hit, your fourth house hit, the other parts of your chart, because you got to think of where Saturn is. Saturn is in your fifth with Aquarius. He's going to move into Pisces in July. Clean your karmic stuff up now, Libra. I'm telling you, clean it, get it clean. I don't care. It's not like I don't care how you do it. I do care how you do it, but do it with respect and do it because that's what you want to do. Don't do it because you have to do it. Come from a space of emotional honesty, because karma and taking accountability for that with Saturn, that's how you get the extra mile. If you do it just to do it, you're still going to owe that karma because you're not coming from a solid space in your heart of actually wanting to do it, thus creating more karma for yourself. It's like, it's very difficult to explain without me going into a long kind of lecture here, but that's the best way it can sum up. And so it's like you have this communication dragon to help not just ground down your communications, because you can't really ground down communication. It's also dealing with technology, travel, delays. Please expect there to be delays. If you're one of those Libras that you are known to run behind, baby, get up and get there early, because I'm telling you, don't wait till the last minute to do anything. Mercury retrograde ain't about that life. It is not. And on top of that, not only is it not about that life, he's gonna like sit there and mess with your stuff the whole time you're trying to get things done to rush and hurry, because you should have done it before, because that's his way of pranking you. So I'm just letting you know. Now, if you've had issues, especially dealing with people that are Scorpios or are Scorpios and in your life or out of your life, I'm just telling you right now, if you want to talk to them, I would say you need to think about what you want long-term with that person before you bring them in. Don't play games, because these dragons are going to know, and they're not going to allow things to connect if it's about playing games. But if you come from a space of honesty, you'll be able to really work this energy through. So, yeah, think about what you want with that Scorpio person. Seriously, think about it. Not just for your money, not just for your stability, not just for your job, for you and for them. How do you benefit them, and how can you help them? How can you show them love? How can you show them security? That is very important, Libra. And I know you're all about balance, but yet you give no balance. So it's almost ironic, because every Libra I've ever met does not have balance in their love life. So it's very funny like how that works, but week 3, we have some balance coming back in here with the earth and water dragon. This is actually one of my favorite dragons to work with because this talks about creating foundation for new growth. It's a fresh start coming with new opportunities to nurture your ideas and harvest the abundance. The only downside is, again, Mercury retrograde, building new beginnings. It's like building a house on sand. You don't want to do that. Now, you should ideally have already done the research in weeks 1 and 2 so that by the time week 4 rolls around and we work on the Dragonfae cards, you will ideally be able to come out of the retrograde, go post shadow, and then move directionally in your plans with this stability that you want to build. So this is still a time where you're going to need to do your research. This is when that full moon in Scorpio is going to hit. Please be aware, be conscious, be careful. Like I said, themes of the 8th house are sex, death, rebirth, transformation, metamorphoses, taxation, and I always say it's a house of legacy. So what do you want to use this full moon to help you become a legend for? Because, and I say that, even though it's an unofficial thing, right? And emotions and what we're tethered to emotionally here and how we can put them to the side and be cold and whatever. As a Scorpio sun, I get it. My son actually shares Scorpio and Sag, so, 50-50. I'm like born the day it literally went 50-50. But I love Librans in the sense of they have this beautiful way of expressing balance when they want to. And I notice that Scorpio energy really makes them unbalanced and makes them go within to get to know themselves. And I love seeing that. But what I hate seeing is when you guys go back in on yourself and retreat, because to me that's not true freedom. But it is where you gain your stability and your logical thought. That is why you are perfect for this full moon. That full moon is setting you up to get you to really think about your long-term stability, to get you to not only think about it, but how do you want to create that? Like, that's very important. So give me just a second here. Hold on. I'm like, I don't like doing this on my laptop. I have to keep on the pad, and I don't like that. Man, I start working with dragons. I swear to God, I'm hot. Like, I actually am flush in the face. Hold on, guys. I'm like, give me a second. Let me take the book out. And, oh, those are for me, not for you guys. I always, whenever I do work with the decks, I always keep my little list. All right. Show me my beautiful Dragonfae beings. How can you help Libra open up to working with the dusty pink dragon from Andromeda? Ooh! Oh, Libra, look at that. You got alfalfa. I've pulled this one before. This is you are a peaceful being, okay? We're going to get to that in a second. I pulled it one time, but I actually didn't read from the book, so we're going to read from the book on that one. And then show me for the silver lunar dragon. Show me, please. Oh, you know what? I just thought about this. This is lunar energy too, and this is like the week the moon will be waning. So this is when you want to get rid of things, okay? Culmination, actually, new moon, waxing, full moon, banishing. For my people who know what manifestation's about, there you go. Fernia came up for someone else today too. So interesting, because Fernia is about, like, are you giving yourself longevity? Are you being honest with yourself? Like, you plan on keeping things like this, but they cannot stay the same. And this is about getting clarity. Now, also, it's about longevity again, but this is coming in right at the tail end of the retrograde. And Fernia, it's so funny. I read from the book from one of the other signs that I did the reading for today, and I was kind of surprised at how, like, I was forceful in my voice. Like, more, I wouldn't say forceful. I'd say assertive. Yeah, let's go with assertive. But Fernia is trying to get your attention on, hello, like, yo, you want to build stability? How are you going to do that? It's like, what is your game plan? How do you plan on tackling this? And everything that you keep trying to bring with you, you cannot bring with you. You must let some things go. Like, you've got to in order to give yourself the stability you want. So, like, how are you going to do this? You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what she's like. And so I'm like, oh, that's perfect for that banishing energy of, like, what you want to get rid of. So there's that. Now, the beginning of the week, the very first week of Mercury retrograde, we have alfalfa. So you are a peaceful being. Now, I'm going to read from the book on this, like I said, because I have not worked with this one yet. Excuse me. Okay, I think I need glasses, y'all, or it's a dang glare. Does that look like a 4 or a 1? It looks like a 1, but it's a 4. Every time I start working with the Fae beings, like, or the Dragonfae or the dragons, like, the numbers on the cards, they don't look like normal numbers. Like, they like, bend in their number form on the card. I think it's the glare from the light. Okay, here we go. Alfalfa. When this card is drawn forth, a sense of peace and new depths of serenity become truth for you. Simply breathe deeply and learn that your peaceful nature can become a daily source of delight and courage, of strength and beauty. Peace is like a quiet glade within, a sacred grove, to which you can go and belong. Take strength and draw nourishment from this place within you, and be sure to visit it daily. Practice acts of peace within your life. Be strong, be free, be blessed, and be at peace. When you come into this place daily, all around you will benefit. Do not mistake or confuse peace for inaction. Being a peaceful activist is one of the most dynamic and powerful choices a being can make in this world, now and ever. When all around you is drama, and all within, oh yeah, there's a full moon in Scorpio for you, and all within you feels inner turmoil, go to that place and know the truth of being is peace, is serenity, is blessed, and is free. Ooh. Okay, this actually comes from, this is actually directly from Lucy Cavendish, and she says in the book, many legends say that alfalfa was a convert to Buddhism, but the truth is that the Buddha and the dragon wisdom keeper share many feelings, beliefs, discussions, and the Buddha learned so much from the loving, compassionate heart of alfalfa as alfalfa did from the wide-eyed, open eyes of Buddha. Okay, so we're taking a Buddhist approach in the beginning of the week. I kind of like that for you guys. It will help deal with frustration. If you've ever worked with practices of Buddhism, I have done some, especially when it comes to Mercury retrograde. It doesn't make it any less frustrating, but it does help on your perspective and how things are viewed as quote-unquote hard or difficult. And so what I like to do is I like to use the form of non-detachment or non-attachment, especially for if you're dealing with issues like these. Don't get attached to any outcome, which I know seems really hard because that's what we do. It's in our nature. But this is one of the foundations that Buddhism actually does use in practice. There are also mantras that you can use. There are various ones you can use. There's also like some mantras. I ended up finding one for the god Ganesh. I love working with Ganesh when I have had to work with him to break down blockages. Perfect for Mercury retrograde. If you want to work more with Sweet Garnesa, all you got to do is, he likes brownies from Jason's Deli. For those of you in the States, like just FYI, leave it at a crossroads. Be like, here you go. He'll eat that up. He'll get some response. But he also has a mantra. You can say the mantra 3, 6, or 9 times. And I believe it goes, Sri Garnesa Yanamapa. I'm not used to speaking Sanskrit, so I hope I'm not butchering it. And you do the chant 3 times. Ideally, you would do this with a mala, and this is more for Hindu practitioners. But when I was trying to work on the art of non-detachment, and Garnesa came in at a time where I was really trying to hone in on that during a Mercury retrograde. And he's also known as like a loving brother and blockages. And I think you could either work with that energy if you want to bring in Sweet Garnesa into your life more. Elephants or imagery of elephants, they're great for removing obstacles. So are sesame seeds, actually. So something to think on. Now, the book also says with this Dragonfae, you can also ask and invoke this Dragonfae too if you need to, as you can do with all of them. So until these are open, but you've got to work with this one first. Or like I said, you could do Garnesa as well. But whichever one you feel more comfortable with. But, sorry, I'm having to fan myself, y'all. I'm hot. Um, it says that this card can indicate that you have already experienced other lifetimes as a member of the Buddhist temple or monastery. Investigate this connection, but most of all, take care to be loving, peaceful, and harmonious in the present moment. Remember, the Buddha loves laughter too. You know, and it's funny that I brought up Garnesa because the way that when I found the video on it, I can't find it anymore, or else I'd share it with you guys, but like, the lady was describing him as a gentle, loving brother. And I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. But when you do work with Ganesh, you'll also have to invoke Shiva, because the reason being is because Shiva is the beginning and the end, and they are father and son. They are related, more or less like adopted son and father. But regardless, it's interesting to note how that dynamic works. So you have to invoke Shiva before you invoke Ganesh if you need to. But there are lots of, things online, especially like mantra to Shiva. Like, there are some really beautiful ones, and then you could do mantra to Ganesh, and then you can give that over. Also, Ganesh likes oranges, just for anybody curious. Shiva, though, in offerings, I'm not really familiar with what he likes as offerings. His offerings are a bit different. I usually give to him things that, again, he's very Scorpio, like nature, endings and beginnings. So I always give to him things that need to end, just like I would Pluto. But I give him more or less the endings that plague a person, because when you do that, whereas Pluto is going to give you better, but what if you don't know you're better? So you can just give him that and then say, I would like Ganesh to remove this obstacle. So there is that option. Now, if you're not really sure what you want to give to Pluto just yet, and that's sometimes the best thing you can do is sit and think on it. Because, when you start doing things like this with the universe and you start manifesting truly from the heart space and you don't know, you would rather not just randomly blurt something out and have it be like where you become like Yaskir from The Witcher, Dandelion from The Witcher in season 1, where the Jen bites back and he has that tumor. And he says earlier, it's like putting salve on a tumor, and then, he gets the tumor and it bites him back because they messed with the Jinn. That's why you don't mess with Jinns, people. I always tell people, don't mess with Jinns when it comes to the Fae. Those are the ones you don't mess with. But do people listen? No. But it was just so funny in The Witcher. They go and he has to go get healed, and then I love how Geralt just looks at Yaskir and goes, it's like putting salve on a tumor. He repeated the same thing back to him. I love that show. They're so funny. Hang on just a second. I'm going to see what blessings you've got going for you, Libra, during this time from the Fae. Now, these are different than like the Dragonfae. These are the regular Fae, the regular Earth 3D bound spirits that we normally talk about on this channel. Ooh. Oh my God, Libra. Look at you. I actually pulled this card the other day. I was like, oh, I've never pulled you before. I'll read from the book, but it was very interesting. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about this one first. So this is a blessing of a light touch. This talks about not just being like light in your nature, but it also comes from a space of forgiveness, serenity, peacefulness, and calm. And when you work with these fairies, like, this is a blessing you already have. You can carry it with you throughout the month, and actually it'll probably help boost the work with this Dragonfae, and then you'll be able to like unlock this dragon, right? So once you do that, and see, the thing is this isn't just like a theme of, oh, forgiveness for you. No. If you've done somebody dirty and you really need their forgiveness, you may not get it, but you might end up being able for you to put the grudge aside. It's possible. I've seen it happen. That doesn't mean it always does, but there is a possibility there. And even if not, you can at least then say, well, I've tried everything and now I can forgive myself. Now you can come from that space. So, but this also talks about being like light, not just in your nature, but like in your speech, how you talk to people, which will help with the second week, but also in your actions, like, and not just with your loved ones, with everyone, because if we want better, higher vibrational energy to come through, then we need to embody these qualities, right? Right. Ideally, yes. Unless there are people who frustrate us, then, you know, you walk the path of the peaceful warrior. You do the non-art, of attachment. And then if that doesn't work, then you can call the Dragonfae and kind of help you out. So the last card we have here is a blessing on the heart's calling. Now, when I pulled this the other day, this is talking about how you are standing in your truth. You are finally living in your truth. And because of that, this is very much a congratulatory, recognition from the Fae and the universe. And because of this, you will be rewarded. And this is at the end of the month. This is as we go out of retrograde and into post-shadow. So let me read from the book on this. Hang on just a second here, because I know I'm leaving something out. Oh, I left 2 cards out. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, well, they were not for you. I know who they were for. They were for another sign's reading. But give me a moment here. Here we go. Oh, this is also a blessing of enchantment from the Fae. So this has to do with... Oh, hang on. Okay, I'm telling you guys, maybe I do need glasses. Does that look like a 33 or a 38? It's 38, but it looks like a damn 33 to me. Okay, here we go. The fairy gift of living from the truest and most pure call of the heart. For fairies, what the heart wants in its purest form is the right thing to desire. But for humans, we have long practiced smothering the heart with the voice of reason, most often not our own voice. Oh my God, what did I just talk about earlier? But the voices of others, of cultures and governments, and of groups of people who fear nothing so much as you hearing your heart's deepest call. And so with this gift of the fairy comes the gift of hearing again the heart's deepest call, and having the courage and the commitment to follow it, no matter where it may take us. The heart's deep call will never drive us to destructive relationship or harmful or hurtful scenarios, okay? This is not to confuse harm and hurt with love and the calling of the heart, because this is a pure intention, pure loving intention supported by the Fae, not distortion. I just want to make that clear for everybody. Because anything that has to do with harm and intentions that are misaligned, to hurt or hinder or that is not pure intention. That is illusionary. That is ego. That is false. So I'm just letting you guys know. That's more like unseelie kind of stuff. Not that I hate on the unseelie. Their stuff is important, but it usually leads to problems. The Seelie court is very different. And so the thing is it is not going to sacrifice our spirit to the making of money or the stifling of creativity. The heart's deep call, the true call, is beyond this and will only take us in the directions of the dreams we are meant to fulfill in this lifetime. The fairies can now, with this gift, slowly lift the mist that covers the shining heart within you and open you up to that deep listening to your own self and help you to value the song of the heart that has been singing to you since before you were born, or aka incarnate on this plane of existence. For the fairies have heard the song of your heart and have wondered at the difference between its call and the life you have lived thus far. With this gift, your life will move more into accord with the heart, and you will begin to live from a deep, true place, with integrity, with fulfillment, without foolishness or following another, for your own heart will guide you and never ask you to sacrifice yourself to the creation of the dream of another. The fairy's gift is the heart's deep call to you, friend. May its song bring you ever blessing. So Libra, that is all I have for you. These are wonderful blessings to have, honestly, for the end of the month. I know, I kind of saved your reading last, and I'm sorry, but, I have been going through some things, Libra, personally, that had to do with another Libra for several years, and I wanted to make sure when I did this reading, I came from a space that was like the Buddhist perspective of non-detachment in terms of how it was giving guidance and advice, knowing they may see this or maybe they don't, but I hope they don't. I hope they don't, because I want something that is to myself, that's private, that's secretive, Scorpio, that the irony of that is that person was always like, I like to keep things to my chest. And I was like, but you're a Libra. That's the shit I do. Good times, good times. Anyway, not all of them were good, but that one gives me a good laugh when I think about it. But that being said, I wanted to make sure that the advice that came out was from a space of no emotional perspective, right? That was clear and concise and accurate for you all. And so that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I am wishing you the best month. I've got to go do Virgo's reading next and Taurus's, so wish me luck on that. I don't know what the heck's going to come through those. But I do know I've been having fun doing these readings, invoking my Dragonfae and my dragon totems. And if you guys would like to book a session with me, please do so down in the description box below. If you'd like to tip me, please do so. And if you'd like to join me on Patreon, definitely do so. I'm hoping to post my lilac guide on Patreon too. Most likely, like when the videos post, I'm trying to beat Mercury retrograde, but I'm starting to feel like as we go more shadow, a little bit delayed here and there, a little bit more tired. I've been getting migraines really bad the last 3 weeks. So that's why I've been rather slow getting these videos out, even though I'm probably going to get them out ahead of time. For me, I feel I would have rather have had them all posted last Friday, but that's me being a little bit of an idealist. So other than that, guys, I love y'all so much. Like, share, and subscribe. I will see you in June after the 16th. Bye, Libra.